Hello, my friends. Today I am doing another lunchtime walk, and I am walking the Elm Creek Trail, my favorite part of the trail. And it is Tuesday, the 22nd of May. And I do that every time. I've been talking about the 5 things that supercharge your program, your life, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. You do these 5 things. This is all a very high-level discussion. We'll get into more practical ways of dealing with it as we move along. So, the 5 things are being honest, being open-minded, being willing, and those 3 things add up to faith. Remember, faith is the result of those things. It's truly believing in yourself, believing in a higher power, believe that it can be done, whatever it is you're trying to do, that you can do it. But what is it that you're doing? So that's why we need the 4th one, which is make goals and plans. And then the 5th thing is put it all into action. Today we're going to talk about goals. Why goals and plans? Why make goals? Why make plans? Well, before I get into that, I'm going to say that let's define these 2 things. So a goal is sort of like a purpose statement. I am going to do X, Y, Z. And the best way to define a goal is to always start off with 2 words. I will is your purpose. Now you can create goals that are very vague. They will do you absolutely no good. So you want to make sure your goals are set up in such a way that they're actually something that you can accomplish and something that you can measure to prove in the end that you have accomplished it. All right. So a goal is essentially a purpose statement, a mission statement. You can think of it as a mission statement. Ooh, like a groundhog running across the way because I'm walking down here. A plan are the steps that you need to take in order to accomplish a goal. Creating a plan without a goal is kind of silly, because what is it you're trying to accomplish? You can create a plan, but there's got to be an idea somewhere of what it is. Now, if you write these things down, that gives you a little more concrete or a methodical way of being, productive. If you don't write it down, then basically it's all in your head, and the thing is our heads, our brains are kind of fuzzy, and it will change over time, and you'll never really know for sure whether you've accomplished your initial set of goals or goal that you set out to do in the first place. So a plan basically defines how you're going to accomplish a goal. There's 3 parts to it. First part is all the steps you're going to take, your tasks, however you want to define it, the timeline, the milestones, whatever it is that you want to refer to it. The second part is the resources that you're going to need. It's kind of important to know that as part of a plan if you need to know anything. I'm seeing some geese or gooses up ahead. I really don't like them. They are not nice creatures. Hopefully they will stay away from me. I don't like them at all. The next part of the next thing about a plan is, well, you got your steps that you're going to take, you got your resources, and the last thing are all the things that you could think of that can get in the way, or your obstacles, and what you're going to do about it, which is essentially more plans. Okay, so the thing about a goal is that it can be very, very big. And if it's very, very big, it typically can be refined into even smaller goals. When it's smaller goals, that one goose was like warning me off. Stay away, stay away. Little nasty creatures. They're really pretty when they're flying, but on the ground they're not so nice. So, as I was saying, you can make your goals very, very big, and if they're very big, they can be refined into smaller goals, broken down. And you really need to do that. It's sort of like a goal, a sub-goal, being a step to accomplish the bigger goal. But it's not really a step, it's just a smaller piece of that goal that needs to be accomplished. And you can keep doing it until you finally get to a place where all you're left with is a plan. That is the right way to do a goal and plan. Okay, so having said that, why do we create goals? Well, we do it all the time. We do it without even thinking about it for the most part. Any time and every time you make up your mind, you decide that you're going to do something, you're basically creating a goal. By formalizing it, you're making it even more possible to accomplish it. So, for example, if you want to lose weight, that's a great goal. A lot of people to say, I want to lose weight. I am a compulsive overeater, and as a compulsive overeater, I eat way too much food and I eat the wrong things, and this has been a problem my whole life, and it's caused all sorts of havoc, such as diabetes and blood pressure problems and other issues. So losing weight is one piece of getting healthy, an overall goal that I have. So if I look at my overall goal of getting healthy, that means that one of the things that I need to do is lose weight. Another one is to, be checked up by a doctor and keep my diabetes under control, my blood pressure under control, my triglycerides and cholesterol under control, and be aware of what my physical condition is. Another part of it might be to go to a dentist, and have my teeth cleaned and teeth better. And however, I might say I will have my teeth. I will get my teeth healthy, and I will get my body healthy for going to the doctor. And then maybe I need some emotional support. I will be healthy emotionally. Okay, so losing weight is just one piece of that. I will lose weight, but it needs to be a little bit more than that. I will lose weight, something specific, to a healthy weight of 190 pounds. Staying there, maintaining that weight for the rest of my life. And what else could it be? It could be eating healthy, moderate portions. Okay? So I've given a couple different pieces to my goal now. I want to create a plan to that, and what are the steps I'm going to take in order for me to get to a place where I get to my 180 and I'm maintaining that for the long term, eating healthy portions, healthy food and healthy portions. Of course, I would sit down, this is all off the top of my head, and actually write this out. And I do that goal by having it laid out like that on a piece of paper. It makes it concrete. Now I'm making a contract with myself, my higher power, and maybe even another person. In fact, the more people you involve, the more likely you're going to do it. That's just a part of human nature. When we do things in secret, it's so easy to break that. Those of us who don't have a lot of willpower at our disposal, we haven't really made up our minds about things. We want what we want. Well, if you don't tell somebody that you're planning on doing something, then you're not going to stick with it. Years and years and years ago, when I weighed well over 300 pounds, I made up my mind that I was going to start eating no fat. I was going to get rid of all the fat out of my diet. I was going to just bring it down to the absolute minimum. And I sat down and figured out how I was going to do it. I even wrote it down, wrote all the plan of things I could eat, things I can't eat, how I was going to do it. I was traveling for a living, and I figured out that when I go to restaurants, I can ask for them to do certain things to get my fat reduced. And it was all in the idea that what was causing my heartburn at the time was a lot of fat. Of course, I wasn't taking consideration that I weighed well over 300 pounds. And I didn't tell anybody that I was doing it. Well, it only lasted a couple of days. Because again, I wanted what I wanted. And what I wanted were those high-fat foods. And once I started eating those high-fat foods again, it was a done deal. Okay? And that's the thing. When I decided that I was going to be abstinent, not eat anything sugar, reduce my carbs to complex carbs, none of that simple carbs like white flour. I'm going to stick with the whole wheats and the whole grains and things of that sort. And it was known publicly because I was attending 12-step meetings, and I told my wife about it, and my kids about it, and then it became a thing for me to do, and it was more than just me. It was an actual real commitment. So a goal, making goals and making them public, is a commitment that I'm making with myself, but with other people and God. Don't forget God. The more you do that, also that works as well. When I say I'm going to do something, I pray about it and I say, okay, God, I'm going to do this. And then I let other people know that I made that commitment to God. Then again, I'm more likely to keep it. And that's what we're playing here. We're playing, a numbers game, if you can think about it in those things. What are the things that get in the way of me keeping my abstinence, when keeping my commitments? Well, if it's a secret, I'm probably going to break it. If I have reservations, I'm probably going to break it. If I've got fear, I'm going to probably break it. There's a lot of obstacles to keeping a commitment, and it all is me, how I do things. If I write it down, it's a little more concrete. It's more than just a commitment. Okay? And the way I write it down is really important as well. Okay? I could just do it as very vague, or I can make it a SMART goal, which means it is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. SMART. Okay? It's okay. So SMART being specific. Okay? It's going to be one thing. It's not going to be vague. I'm going to lose weight. That is my goal. That's a specific thing. Is it achievable? Is it measurable? Well, it's not measurable if I just say I'm losing weight. Other than the fact that, I weigh less today than yesterday. But the goal has to be a definition of something that I can accomplish, that I can continue to measure and track, and when I achieve it, I know that I've achieved it. That's what it means by measurable. Because if I don't have that in place, if I just say lose weight, that means tomorrow when I've lost 1 pound, I've achieved my goal. But in reality, what I'm thinking about is I want to get down to a healthy weight. And what does a healthy weight look like to me? It's about 190. Okay? Years and years and years ago, I managed to get down to 190, and I kept it there for 7 years, or probably longer than that, but 7 years that I know about. And I felt so much healthier and so much better because I kept my weight there, and I didn't need any of the diabetes medication, and I didn't have any of the physical problems that I had when I weighed 300 plus pounds. So my goal is I will lose weight to 190. It's measurable. Furthermore, I have to define some kind of boundaries to it. Eating healthy food, healthy moderate meals. That's a very good boundary, and to keep me within it. It's part of the measurability of it. If I achieve my goal and I'm eating nothing but Fritos, probably didn't achieve my goal. Even though I got to 190, I'm not eating healthy. I'll probably have all sorts of other problems as well. The next part is achievable. Achievable is really, really important. Okay? So if I say I'm going to learn how to fly without a plane or any other equipment, I'm just going to learn how to fly, I'm never going to accomplish that goal. So they do say that if you fall and miss, you're flying. But in this world with gravity and, and some sort of level of reality, chances are I would not be able to. So is it achievable? No, it's not achievable. You have to look at it. Is this something that you can achieve? If you can achieve it, then this is a good goal for you. Another example might be if I make a decision that I am going to build a car. Is it achievable? Well, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have hardly any money. And so for me to do this, it would be an insurmountable challenge. Meaning I would have to earn an awful lot of money, have an awful lot of free time. I'd have to learn a lot of skills that I don't have. And along the way, I have to decide whether I'm buying parts from other sources or I'm actually making the parts, which means I have to buy all the tools, which is a lot of money, and I need the space to build it. Do I have the space to do that? It's insurmountable. I mean, it's doable, but it's an incredible challenge to do. Is that achievable? That one would probably need to be broken down to a lot of little goals. Okay? Achievable? Nah, probably not. Nah, if I know myself. At least right now. Maybe down the road, my circumstances will change and I'll change and I'll have the means to do something like that. Is it realistic? Well, I mean, it's easy to create a goal that's just kind of pie in the sky. For example, I might have a goal that I am going to lose my weight down to 140. Is that very realistic? First of all, that's probably unhealthy for me to get down that low because I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm 6 foot, a little over 6 foot, even though I've gotten shorter as I've gotten older. And I mean, I'm pretty big for a guy. To get down that low, I'd have to be awful thin. Probably not healthy for me. Is it realistic? Something, well, often realistic and achievable go hand in hand. If it's not realistic, it's probably not achievable. But that's not always the case. Sometimes it is achievable, but it's just not very realistic. It's just not a good goal. For example, I may decide, I'd like to be able to sing. Is it achievable? Oh, hell yeah, a lot of practice. I would like to learn how to sing. Is it realistic? Probably not. It's probably not at all. Ooh, I just experienced some serious fear there. Oh, those damn gooses. I really, really don't like them. Hopefully they will not be there on my way back. Plane is very loud. So, that's realistic. Timely. Is the goal defined in a timely manner? So, what is my time frame to get this thing done? Often, you need to define that as part of the goal. So it needs to be something that you're going to do now. It's not something you're going to do, later on down the road, someday. Okay? So a timely one, if I added to my goal, I will lose 190 pounds in the next year, eating healthy, moderate meals. That's a good, smart goal because it's timely. It defines the time frame, and it also defines when I'm doing it, which is now. Something I have to work on every day. I am working on a goal right now that is walk 500 miles over the summer, and that goal actually defines it. I will walk 500 miles from April 1st to September 30th, including some long walks on the Elm Creek Trail, Blacklick Creek Trail. So my goal includes walking the entire length of Elm Creek Trail and the entire length of the Blacklick Creek Trail. I'm not quite ready to do those. That will probably be later on down the road. I'm actually hoping that by the time I get to July, I'll be ready to do the Blacklick Creek one. But is 500 miles doable? Oh yeah, very, very doable. It's very measurable. I'm tracking as I'm going along how many miles I'm doing. Tracking right now as I walk. And is it achievable? Yeah, most certainly. Though it will be a challenge. Is it realistic? Oh, hell yeah. Even if I just do 3 miles a day between those two dates, I can do it. Though, I haven't been able to do it. I haven't been able to make my 21 miles a week, which is sort of like a sub goal that I've been setting myself, because that's another thing that we're going to talk about, is that once you've got your main goal in place with a plan and you break it down into smaller goals, sometimes those smaller goals is, what am I going to accomplish today? What am I going to accomplish this week? However you want to do it, but it's going to be something that is pertinent to today. When it's something so big, like I want to lose 100 weight down to 190 pounds over the next year, that's easy to lose track of or to put off. And then at the end, you're like starving yourself in order to achieve the goal. Because you're not setting those daily and weekly or even monthly goals that go along with it. They're sort of like sub-goals or progress goals, milestones. That's something that we can do in conjunction with the main goals. All right, so why do we do goals? Which is what I initially started to talk about. We do goals because we want to live our lives with intention. We need to have purpose in our lives. If we don't have purpose, then we're just kind of meandering. And if you're meandering, chances are you're not going to be very happy. You're not going to be happy because you don't really know what you're doing, why you're here, what it's about. Of course, if your goal is to just relax all the time and read books all the time, and you're happy doing that, then by all means do that. That's your goal. You actually have a measurable goal. Okay? I'm going to read books all the time. That means if you're not reading, you're breaking your goal. Or I'm going to read one book every week for the rest of my life. Is it achievable? Well, I don't know about that. Maybe it needs to be broken down. Over the next year, I'm going to read one book every week. That's a doable thing. I may end up being able to do more than one book. Just because you can do more than what your goal defines doesn't mean you're breaking your goal. It's when you're not meeting the requirements or the definition of the goal, that's when you've got an issue going on. So, when we set goals, we give ourselves something to do. And when we give ourselves something to do, then we feel good about ourselves, especially as we have little victories along the way that are actually, showing that we can do it. It makes us feel better about ourselves. This is kind of very philosophical, psychological, but it's really what it's all about. If you want to be abstinent, then you need to really write down why you want to be abstinent. What's the benefit of it? That should be part of your goal. And what is it all about? When a goal is defined, I don't want to do something. Chances are you're going to do it. When a goal is defined, I am going to do X, Y, Z, chances are that's something for you to go to. You see the difference? When I don't want to do something, then that's really all about me, just stopping some kind of behavior that I have. But what am I filling it in with? What am I doing instead of that behavior? Nothing exists in a vacuum. Something has to be done in between. People who want to quit smoking struggle with it because they spend all that time smoking and spending money on smoking and doing that kind of thing. They have nothing to replace it with. Chewing gum or having a patch still leaves a vacuum. Do something powerful for yourself. Do something constructive in your life. Something that will replace the old behavior with something positive and constructive and creative in your life. Instead of smoking, how about going for a walk or being social or take up cooking or being an artist? Something that fills the niche for you. Why were you smoking in the first place? Was it a social thing for you? If so, then you can find a way of doing social things without smoking. Smoking is just an example of a behavior that we do that we often say we don't want to do. Likewise, I don't want to eat sugar anymore. I want to be abstinent from sugar. That's something I don't want to do. But it's a distinct difference between that and I want to eat healthy. I will eat healthy. I will not smoke. I will not eat sugar. Be positive. Positive always yields more than negativity. Always turn your goals to something that you can do rather than you're not going to do. It might require you to have some serious thought there about what it is you're going to do. You can do it. I've got faith in you. Anyway, that is enough for today. It's almost 30 minutes. It means I have to turn around and walk back and deal with the ducks and gooses and whatnot. I hope you're doing well. Love you all and catch you another day. Bye.